Alright YouTube, what's going on? Doing a first impressions video. We're looking at a new knife from Boker. This is the Lateralus, collaboration with JB Stout, based on his custom knife, the Lateralus. So, let's get into this one a little bit. Go ahead and get you started off with the basic specs on this one. Your overall length is 8.25 inches. Blade length is 3.6, cutting edge of 3.25. You do have a pretty good sized choil there. Your width is width this way, 1.125. Thickness 0.14. It's not terribly thick, which I like quite a bit. It is D2 tool steel, clip point style blade with a flat grind and stonewash finish. You're obviously a plain edge on that. Handle length is 4.625 inches. Your width is 1.25 inches this way, so it's not terribly wide. And thickness is pretty slim. It's under ½ inch, so I like that about it too. And it is a stainless steel frame lock. So all of this is stainless steel. There's no titanium. I'll get to that later. But go ahead and let's talk about that choice of steel here. D2. Now you got to look at the price of this knife. It's I think I paid 80 bucks. So the G10 one is a little bit less expensive. There's one that has a G10 scale instead of the stainless, which is quite a bit lighter. I looked at both. I didn't like the way the G10 looked. It just kind of looked cheap. I thought this looked a lot better, so I went with the stainless steel, and it's still a pretty good weight. I'm going to put it on my scale here because getting conflicting. It is over 5 ounces. It's 5.4 ounces, so it's not way heavy. It could be really heavy, but they have milled out pockets in the stainless steel handles. Can you see them right there? Actually, on both sides, even on the lock side, up here at the top, they've milled out holes. Can you see that? Yeah. So that's nice because this could have been a very heavy knife, but they milled it out, which is something that you're not expecting to see from Boker. So that's a nice thing. So nice blade shape on this. Has a nice flat grind on there. Got this big fuller here, like a blood groove, and then you got some pretty good jimping up here. It's not too aggressive. It actually locks your thumb in just right. It's a little aggressive, but not overly aggressive. So I like the milling on the titanium handle as well. Let's talk about the action. It is phenomenal. I have never had a Boker flip this well. Anything that's on bearings from them is typically not bad, but this is very, very smooth out of the box. Very smooth. I mean, I've only had this knife for a few hours today, and look how it's pretty buttery smooth, guys. Like, look at that. I almost caught my tip of my part of my thumb there when I actually released that lock bar all the way. That thing fell. So extremely good action for the money and extremely good action from Boker. Definitely more online with a ZT or a Riyadh or like this Real Steel Megalodon. Feels a lot like that one. So very nice action on that one. Your pocket clip on this guy is just kind of your basic bent over stainless steel clip. It has good retention, almost a little too much retention, but not too bad. It is pretty stiff, so there's not a lot of give on that, but it's not a deal breaker. And it carries somewhat deeply. You're going to have, you know, roughly that portion of your knife sticking out of your pocket, so not bad. So the clip is functional. It's not, you know, anything fantastic, but for the price point, it's definitely okay. Carries nicely in the pocket because it is slim. It's not too heavy. I mean, I have other titanium frame locks that weigh that much or more. So I think they've done a great job with that milling to lighten that up, so it's not too heavy for its size. Ergonomics are really good on this knife. It's actually super comfortable in hand. Really well designed handle. You can see it's got this really generous finger choil area here, and you can really get your first couple fingers in there. And then the fatter part of the handle, kind of like a strider, it kind of fills out the rest of your handle. But the strider comes down more. This is definitely fits my hand better than striders do. I've had a few SNGs, and I've always kind of sold them because they kind of fit my hand weird. So ergonomics are good. There is no hot spots apparent that I can feel in this grip. Like here. There's just nothing. It's very comfortable in the hand. The design on this knife is excellent. I've always been a fan of JB Stout's work, and you know, he just really hasn't done much but custom knives. I can't, maybe a mid-tech, I'm not sure on that one. So I was excited when he worked with Boker on this model, the Lateralus, because, and I do believe it's named after the Tool album, just in case you're wondering. Maybe not, but there is a Tool album called Lateralus. I really like this design. I like it so much that I wish a lot that it was a titanium frame lock with a better steel, and man, this thing would be awesome. Not that it's bad with stainless steel. There, you know, it's a little heavier. It looks nice. I mean, it looks like you could look at this with the naked eye and think that's a titanium frame lock. It's definitely not. But and the D2 choice of steel is not bad. It's a pretty inexpensive steel these days, and that's why, you know, you're getting this knife around the $80 to $90 range. You can't expect a ton typically out of that. Would I like to see S35? Yes. The M390 with titanium handles, bam, I would pay a lot of money for it because the design is great. So, great design, very, very aggressive, tactical, you know, style design, and the nice, the groove, the blood groove here in the handle, or excuse me, in the blade, you know, kind of goes along with these grooves here that have been machined into the handle. I do like that quite a bit. It has a very tool-like design to it, so I like that quite a bit. Fit and finish is so surprising. Boker is so hit and miss with fit and finish, and I think they may have changed, possibly, no confirmation, just an idea, that they may have changed who manufactures these knives, because the Boker Plus line is made in China. And as we all know, there's a few OEMs in China that make most of the knives for companies. I think it used to be one of them, may still be one of them, but they've also been producing their own knives. So there's a few OEMs over there, and I wouldn't doubt that they've changed, because the quality is top notch. Actually, it's really good. It came perfectly centered with great lockup, with no blade play, nice smooth action. I mean, honestly, the fit and finish is exceptionally good for the money. And it's kind of surprising because, like I said, Boker can be so hit and miss. So maybe they changed their OEM, I'm not sure. But you have a really pretty well detailed knife here. It's not just a plain Jane. I mean, you have some nice milling on it. You have some chamfering around the edges. I mean, it's the design really flows. If you look at the groove here on the handle and how it flows into the blood groove of the blade, that's really cool. You do have a lanyard hole attachment here. And then you have your two open standoffs, so it's a pretty open construction. So the fit and finish and the design are spot on, really good. I mean, pretty surprising for Boker and for the cash that you're spending on this. It's got a pretty thinly ground blade. It's not terribly thick behind the edge, so it should be a really good slicer. The out of the box sharpness was really good. Yeah, it's really nice, very sharp. So that's not, I mean, yeah, that's plenty sharp. Very good out of the design. The edge on it was uniform. It was, now I've got a chip in it because I about just took my hand off with it. Wow. That was the first time I've ever done that in a video. Yeah, it looks fine though. Nothing happened to the edge, it didn't get dinged up. But the grind oh, maybe it did get a little dinged up. It fell straight on concrete, and yeah, nothing that can't be stropped out. Probably, maybe just, yeah. There's a couple little dings in the blade there. Oh well, I was gonna be a user anyway, so who cares? But it's not terribly thick on the edge, and like I was saying, the grind was symmetrical, which was nice to see, and it was even bevels on both sides. I've had Bokers that weren't like that. I've had Benchmades that weren't like that. So there you go, and DPX. I'm just taking shots here. Very good fit and finish, guys. Definitely pick one of these up for 80 bucks. You cannot go wrong. Will make a great EDC if you're on a budget. Even if you're not on a budget like the JB Stout designs, pick one up for that vision alone. Or, you know, as a good beater knife. This is a lot of good EDC, you know, good tactical folder. A lot of good uses for this knife. Just to have one to flip. I mean, you know, a lot of reasons to buy it. So, value, like I said, is super high on this. I mean, D2 steel, with the, I mean, I'm thinking of like a Wii knife, and their budget line is about $100, and it's typically a liner lock with D2 and G10, where this is a stainless steel frame lock with D2, and the action is just as good on this as it is on those Wii's. So I think this is actually a little bit better value even than the Wii's. I can't believe I'm saying that because Boker, but it's really good quality. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it for them. So very good value on this one, guys. Really good. Overall use, I would say just your basic tactical folder, EDC folder, whatever you want to use it for. It's going to be fine. It's a good sized knife, so it's not a great like gentleman's carry or office knife or anything, but a good overall EDC. So I really like it. I saw someone's Instagram post on it, how surprised they were. I think it was Misanthropia, how they were very pleased by the quality, and you know, because we all know Boker could be hit and miss over the years. We've all been burned by them before, and was just really surprised. And then a couple of people got it, and they're like, man, this thing's awesome for the money. So I had to pick one up, and I had a little extra time at lunch today, and I went over to Blade Ops. Shout out to Blade Ops over here in Utah, and picked this up, and they had a great price on it, cheaper than a few other retailers actually. I was able to handle it in person, like I said, the G10 and the stainless steel. I do like the weight savings of the G10. I just wish the G10 was a little. It does have the same milling, but at least the one I looked at had some discoloration in the G10. It just didn't look very nice, and I kind of wish they went with a different color. I would have loved to see it with a carbon fiber scale. That'd be really cool. So a great design that I wish there was a premium version available with titanium and maybe S35 or higher steel. I would be all over it, especially if Boker's using the same manufacturing facility for this knife. If they went with a higher end knife, because it would be really, really well made, and you'd have it for a really good deal. So let's do some size comparisons here for you. There's the zero tolerance 808. So it's a little bit bigger than that one. The XM18 Hinderer is a little bigger than the Lateralis, so it's kind of in between. It's roughly the same size as an XM18. That's pretty dang close. Let's look at the Megalodon. I'll have a video up on this guy. Another exceptionally well-made knife for the money. I actually have it filmed. I just haven't uploaded it yet. So it's really similar to that too. I feel like the Megalodon's bigger though. Maybe it's not. Looking side by side, pivot to pivot here, it's about the same size. And the small Sabenza, much smaller knife, but just to give you a scale there. I always like to put a smaller knife in there versus. So if you're used to carrying a small Seb or something similar in size, this is a bigger. It's a definitely a bigger knife. So, but it's great for the money. Fantastic. Very pleased with it. It just survived a fall into concrete, and the edge didn't get all jacked up, so that's good. I'll probably just drop it out and be good to go. So smooth action. Look at that. I mean, if I move my finger out of the way, get that lock bar fully depressed, it could fall on it. It's that smooth. And I haven't put any oil. I haven't adjusted the pivot. This is out of the box. And it's, like I said, centering was perfect. D10 is nailed. It's right on where it needs to be. Oh, and you can use this blood groove here as a slow opening method, or you can also middle finger flick it with this if you don't want to use the flipper. So you've got a few different deployment methods. So, alright guys, that's going to wrap up the video on the Boker Lateralis. Definitely recommended for the money. One of the better budget folders I've reviewed in a long time, especially this year. And yeah, pick one up. See you in the next video.